Life has a way of revealing the truth, often when we least expect it. The people we trust, the ones we believe will stand beside us, can sometimes be the very ones who betray us. When this happens, the pain is unbearable, the weight of disappointment, the sting of deception. But what if I told you that this unveiling is not a punishment, but protection? What if every betrayal, every act of dishonesty, every mask that falls away is God's way of removing what is not meant for you? This is a story about Liam, a man who gave his heart to the wrong people, only to realize that every betrayal was a blessing in disguise. The rise of trust. Liam had always believed in loyalty. He grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other. He was the type of person who saw the best in others, always willing to lend a hand, always assuming that kindness would be returned. His circle of friends was tight, and among them he trusted two people the most, his childhood friend Ethan and his colleague Jason. Ethan had been by Liam's side since they were kids, running through the streets, sharing secrets under the stars. Jason, on the other hand, was a newer connection but felt like an older brother. They worked together, building dreams and chasing success. Liam had always believed that his friends were his strength. He was willing to sacrifice for them, stand up for them, even in moments when his heart whispered that something wasn't right. But when people show their true colors, it isn't always loud. Sometimes the truth whispers, and sometimes we ignore it until it's too late. The subtle signs. It started small little moments that Liam brushed off as coincidences. Ethan would make promises but fail to keep them. Jason would take credit for ideas they had worked on together. He noticed how conversations shifted when he walked into a room, how laughter felt forced, how excuses replaced honesty. Still, Liam convinced himself that he was overthinking. After all, these were his friends. They wouldn't betray him. But the truth has a way of surfacing. One evening, Liam found himself in a situation that changed everything. He had been working on a major project at work, one that could elevate his career. He had shared every detail with Jason, trusting him as a brother. The day before the final presentation, Jason called in sick, leaving Liam to handle everything alone. It was tough, but Liam pulled through. The next morning, as he stepped into the office, he heard murmurs. His project had been presented, but by someone else. Jason. Liam's stomach twisted. He rushed to confront him, but Jason laughed it off. "It's just business, Liam. You'll have other chances." Something in Liam shattered, the pain of betrayal. That same night, he turned to Ethan, his oldest friend. If anyone could help him make sense of this, it was him. They met at their usual spot, a quiet cafe where they had once planned their futures, their dreams. Liam poured his heart out, but as he spoke, Ethan's face remained unreadable. And then, the words that fell from his lips struck Liam harder than Jason's betrayal. "Maybe you're just not meant for this, Liam. Maybe Jason is better suited for success." Liam blinked. The weight of those words pressed down on him like a storm cloud. His best friend wasn't standing with him. He was standing against him. It was in that moment, in the silence that followed, that Liam understood. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't unexpected. It had been happening all along. He had just refused to see it. The divine intervention. Betrayal is painful, but it is also revealing. Liam walked away from that cafe with a heart heavier than ever. But as he did, a strange sense of clarity washed over him. Maybe losing them wasn't a loss. Maybe it was protection. For years, Liam had placed his faith in people who never truly valued him. He had given his trust to hands that were unworthy. And now, as painful as it was, God was removing them. That night, he sat alone, staring at the city lights. He thought about every moment he had ignored, every warning he had dismissed. He thought about how desperately he had held on to people who were never meant to stay. And then, for the first time in a long time, he felt peace. Because sometimes, when people show their true colors, it isn't to break you, it's to free you. Liam woke up the next morning feeling different. The pain of betrayal still lingered, but there was something else, clarity. He had spent years placing his trust in the wrong people, believing that loyalty meant holding on, no matter what. But now he saw the truth. Losing Ethan and Jason wasn't a setback. It was a setup for something greater. With that realization, Liam decided he wouldn't waste another second mourning what was never meant for him. He picked up his phone, deleted their contacts, and made a vow to build something for himself, something no one could take away, the journey to self-discovery. At work, the fallout from Jason's betrayal was unavoidable. The stolen project had gained attention, and Jason was being praised. Liam had two choices. He could wallow in resentment, or he could rise above it. He chose to rise. Instead of confronting Jason or seeking revenge, Liam poured himself into his work. He started a new project, one even bigger, more ambitious. He worked late nights, pushed past self-doubt, and for the first time in a long time, he focused on himself. Outside of work, Liam did something he had never done before. He embraced solitude. He took long walks, spent time reading, and reflected on his purpose. It was in these moments of stillness that he began to hear the voice of God clearer than ever. I removed them because they were holding you back. Trust me. And so he did. The unexpected shift. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. Jason's stolen project had flaws, major ones. The company discovered inconsistencies, and Jason, who had taken credit for everything, had no answers. The same people who once praised him were now turning away. Liam could have celebrated. He could have relished in Jason's downfall. But he didn't. Instead, he remained focused, knowing that success built on integrity would always outshine deception. It wasn't long before his hard work paid off. His new project gained recognition, and this time there was no one standing in his way. He received a promotion, not because he fought for it, but because it was always meant for him. And Ethan, the friend who had chosen betrayal over brotherhood, Liam later heard that he, too, faced the consequences of his choices. Because the truth is, when people show their true colors, they eventually expose themselves to the world as well. The power of letting go. Liam's journey wasn't just about losing the wrong people. It was about finding himself. He realized that every loss had been a redirection. Every betrayal had been protection. There was no bitterness in his heart, only gratitude. Because sometimes, when God removes people from your life, it's not to punish you, it's to prepare you for something greater. And when people show their true colors, don't be angry. Don't chase them. Don't try to hold on. Smile, because God is protecting you.